Welcome everyone. Bonjour, min Lindsay Indigenakaz, Jaganashimang, Gazagasquajimakag Indunjiba, Edashwalker, Inda. My name is Lindsay McMurrin. I am a citizen of the Leech Lake Nation and live in the Walker area. I see a lot of familiar faces. It's always great to see everybody. I am the Director of Prevention Initiatives and Tribal Projects for Minnesota Communities Caring for Children. Today we welcome Keila McCracken from Peacemaker Resources. She'll be sharing about rain meditation with us today. I have my son Isaiah here. Can you say hi?
Hi.
This is my son Isaiah, and how old are you?
I am 9.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in 3rd.
He's in 3rd grade. All right, so we welcome everybody to join us today for today's Practicing Resilience. As you see on the screen there, we have an overview of our practice sessions. Our practice sessions include a 5-minute opening. So Isaiah and I will lead you all through a breathing exercise and do a short reading. Then we'll then pass it off to Keila for her resilience practice she'll be sharing with us today. We'll then come back together and break into small groups for about 7 minutes or so of conversation. We'll come back together and we'll close with a collective breath. These practices, as a reminder, are both individual and community protective factors. We know how important it is to remain connected and to continue to practice those things that give us strength and resiliency during these times. So we thank everyone for being here with us. Isaiah, when I asked him what breathing exercise he wanted to share today, he said he created one himself. So today he's going to share about ocean breathing. All right, Isaiah.
When you breathe in, imagine like the waves coming into shore. When you are holding it, then imagine that the waves are calm. Then last is when you are breathing out. That is like the ocean waves going out.
Yep, back into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all going to go ahead and take that deep breath together. So go ahead and breathe in. Imagine those waves coming into shore. Hold it. Imagine that calmness before the water recedes. And breathe out. And imagine that ocean water going back out into the ocean. And we'll do it once more together. Breathing in. Hold. And breathing out. And that is ocean breathing created by my son. I found a passage that reflects some of that thought that I'd like to share with you. It's entitled Determined by Doze Antamada. I am not a wave. I am the ocean. I have not crashed and broken. I rise, I fall, I rise once more. Tired, yes, but stronger, wiser than before. It may take time for me to mend, but as long as I breathe, it is not, will not be the end. And with that, I'll go ahead and pass things on over to my friend and coworker, Keila, for her practice today.
Yes, thank you, Lindsay and Isaiah. That felt good. Yes, so I'm Keila McCracken. I work with Peacemaker Resources in Bemidji, and I'm a social and emotional learning specialist. And today I wanted to share with you and invite you to join me in what's called a rain meditation. So this was originated by Michelle McDonald, and lucky for us, she was willing to share this meditation over 20 years ago, and it's kind of evolved and changed as needed. And what I especially, what resonates with me with this meditation and why I chose it for today is it often is something I've turned to in times where big shifts and changes have happened, either in my own life or in the world. And even though time may have passed after that big change, I think of it as there's still emotional residue that I'm still sitting with that's uncomfortable or difficult to be with. And so this is a good meditation for after the the big wave that has crashed. Still, when the waters are a little shaky still, this is a good time where you can reapproach those feelings. They aren't as overwhelming anymore, but they're still there and they're safe enough to approach now. So that's how I like to think of this meditation, and why I think now is a good time, because we've adjusted to the change, we've adapted, but there's still a lot of emotions around that change. So with this, I invite you all to find a mindful way for your body to be in this time, to prepare yourself for meditation. Finding a way to sit. A colleague of mine says sit not uptight, but upright. So, and I think of my high school choir teacher talking about how a string that's attached from the top of your head to a ceiling just slightly lifts you up. You can relax your feet and your body on whatever you're sitting on, and your feet may be grounded with the floor. You can relax your hands within your lap or on your knees. And with your gaze, you can either lower your gaze down to something on the floor, or if you feel comfortable, you can also close your eyes. I invite you to recognize your breath. The in-breath, the out-breath, the waves that come in and out. Without judgment, you may notice the rhythm of your breath or the depth of your breath. With the in-breath, you are receiving, you are welcoming something that is meeting a need. Welcome that breath. With your out-breath, you are releasing, you're letting go. Maybe even being thankful or being grateful for a need being met. Breathe in, breathe out, being with the breath. Sense the possibility of relaxation within your body. Notice the areas of your body that wants to relax and that you can release at this time. Maybe your shoulders, your hands, your belly, your heart, maybe even your brain. Notice your senses. Notice your thoughts. Notice the information that your body is sending you, and recognize those. And then return to your breath, resting in your breath. From this wakeful presence, start scanning your life for a place of difficulty that is bringing up challenging emotions. Maybe a conflict or uncertainty or loss and grieving. Notice in these challenging emotions that it's triggering feelings of discomfort. It may be hurt or fear, shame, hopelessness, or sadness. Scan for those challenging emotions. Take this time to select one and bring to mind a situation that brings up a reactive emotion that you would like to find more balance with. Something that you have a charged reaction to, but you also don't want this to be an overwhelming feeling. So if you are noticing an overwhelming feeling, recognize that feeling and let it be. And keep looking for emotion that is approachable at this time, a challenging emotion that is still approachable. Bring to mind a situation where this discomfort gets triggered. So you'll want to replay in your mind an experience that you've had, that you've experienced this triggering feeling, And imagine like your life is a movie and you're going through frame by frame till eventually you find that frame where you are physically experiencing that emotion and that reaction. Once you find this frame, freeze that frame in your mind and notice that frame. Notice the space that it holds. Notice what is in the frame. Notice who is there. Also notice who isn't there or what isn't in the frame. Recognize what is the most predominant of what is going on inside of you. Take a time to recognize this frame. And sometimes recognizing might mean putting a name to it, or an image, or a feeling. If that feels comfortable, feel free to do so. Allow that feeling to be there right now. Pause and make a space for what is here. This feeling, this space, you do not have to like it. We are just allowing it to be here with us right now. By allowing this emotion, you deepen your intention. And this leads to investigation. Investigate what most wants attention. For some, this might bring up imagery of feeling around in the darkness or listening, but investigate what most wants attention. What is the most difficult part of this? This is where the image in your head might feel more physical, and you might feel a section of your body that is experiencing this discomfort and where it's centered. As you experience the physicality of this, sense if there is a belief going on along with the physicality. Is there a belief? You might also ask yourself, what am I believing when this is happening? So when I'm in this freeze frame of this moment, is there a belief that I'm buying into when this is happening? What am I believing? Notice whatever you are believing and how it is felt in your body and what emotion is there. Notice this felt sense. Investigate that sense and that part of your body. Where do you feel the most vulnerable in your body at this time? Tuning into this part of the body and in this place. Ask if this part of the body could communicate with you. What would it want you to know? What does it want you to know? By its presence, it is creating a space and holding space. What does that space want you to know? Nurture this part of you that is carrying this comfort. This part of you is carrying this and holding it and holding space. Nurture that space and that being. You can ask this part of you, how do you want me to be with you? How can I be here with you? What does this place most need right now? Does it need to trust something, feel something, know something, hear something. What does this place need? Open your mind for investigation. Being open to responding from the wisest part of who you are. Take deep breaths as you connect with yourself and with meeting this need. While still being in touch with the vulnerability, notice and listen to your inner wisdom and inner love. Sense what you can offer to this vulnerability. If you would like, I invite you to take your hand and you can place it on your heart or your belly or over the region of your body that you most experience this vulnerability. Notice the energy of this space. And now, from your wisest understanding of self and love and compassion and empathy and grace, send that understanding and that compassion to the most vulnerable part of your body, the most vulnerable part of your heart. And we return back to listening to this part of the body to ask, what does this part need to hear? And can you offer that? What does this part need to hear? And what can we offer? It might be as simple as, I'm sorry, I love you, I care about this suffering, I am not leaving. You are a part of this life and you belong. Let that message flow through your hands to that vulnerable space. Sit in this presence of compassion and vulnerability. And sit in being both the held and the one that is holding. Pay attention to this quality of presence that you are creating. What is it like to be that you right now? Notice if anything has shifted since you began this meditation. What you have noticed, what you have heard, what you have sourced, what you have given, what you now are. Trusting and resting in your own wisdom and your own love in this current moment. Trusting in what you receive and what you release, and what you are and what you welcome. Return back to your breath, noticing how the in-breath is a need that the body has. It's gasping for a need to be met. It's gasping for air. And on the out breath, it's a release, a relief of having what we need. Breathe in, receiving, breathe out, releasing. Breathe in, receiving, breathe out, releasing. I invite you to, when you're ready, come back to join our group.
Thank you for that. That was great. just as a side note, my little one had a meeting with his class that he had to jump off and go attend to. So he's in the other office space with his tablet to talk to his classmates and teacher. Thank you. So with that, we will go ahead and move into our small group time. Becky,
I have a quick question first,
Sure.
if I could. You and Keila referred to this as a rain meditation. I wonder if you could tell us why it's called rain before we go.
Yes, I realized that halfway through. So it's an acronym for processing emotions, and here it is. So the R stands for recognize, the A for allow, the I for investigate, and the N for nurture. And so it's just 4 ways of recognizing. And then at the end, they call it, I think, post-rain, or it's just kind of enjoying the space that you've created. Just like kind of after a rainstorm, that beautiful smell that happens.
Recognize, allow, investigate,
And
nurture. And nurture.
Yeah, and
That's helpful.
Michelle McDonald, she's the one that created it. So she has a lot of videos or things that you can listen to online. And Tara Brock has several versions that are like 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes too, depending on what your need is.
Great. Thank you. All right. I will pause the recording now. I just wanted to get that in the recording.